Sitting home and thinking, um, is there anything positive of this horrible situation? Um, you know, Sometimes bad things happen to you, but ultimately leads to something better. Um, so if you take the right lessons from the bad situation, of course. Um, this current situation, for me at least, the positives that I see, it forces to many people to realize that probably it's not the best idea to connect healthcare to to your employment because I remember. I'll tell you a little story. When I was a kid, I was looking at my mom's paycheck back in Bulgarian communism, and I saw a deduction fairly substantial from her check was probably like $100, and about actually it's more than 100, but pre-tax was more than 100, but actual check was $110. I remember it very clearly, or 110 Bulgarian money. And from the deductions before that, it was something like 10 or $15 for healthcare. And I remember my parents never went to the hospital, and I pretty much never went to the hospital. And it's like, I just puzzled, like a little kid. I asked my mom, why do we pay for that when we don't use it? And she's like, well, we pay for healthcare. And I'm like, but again, why do we pay for something we don't use? And she told me, you know what? Think of it this way. Healthy for healthcare system to work, healthy people have to pay for the people who are sick. Because when you're sick, you can really work, you can pay for your healthcare. But when you're healthy, it's the time to pay. So the way it really works, the healthy people gotta pay for the sick people. And one day when you're old and sick, the young healthy people will pay for you. And that's ideally. So instead of being upset why I'm paying for somebody who's sick, just be happy that you are healthy and privileged to be able to work and pay for somebody who's sick and help somebody else. And she said, would you rather, if you can choose, would you rather be sick and somebody else take care of you, or would you rather be healthy and help somebody else? And I, of course, say, of course, I want to be healthy. So look at it this way. And they kind of shaped my view ever since. And I kind of forgot it. I just knew this how it works and this how it is. So when I came to America and seeing that the healthcare is not attached to, it's attached to your employment, it's kind of really stupid because when I pay my premiums when I work, it goes to profits for somebody, and for the older people who are really expensive, I pay for them too, and I end up in a goofy situation that I pay for me and I don't use it because I'm healthy, and when I'm really sick, I can't use it because I'm not working because I'm sick. And when I work, I always pay for the older people. So it's like you're in a stupid situation that you pay for other people and you pay for yourself, but when you really need it, it's not there for you. So probably we should have a system that there's no profiteering and the enormous bureaucracy right now we have. I mean, right now we have more bureaucracy for healthcare than doing communism and run government run. I mean, you have the hospital, they have all these people to build, the insurance company, all this fighting, and it's so expensive and terrible. So hopefully people view this as, hey, maybe we should all pay for it. We should all should have it. Because the current system is not working for millions of people, and probably we shouldn't have 30,000 people die every year because they cannot see a doctor from preventable disease. Um, so hopefully, on the positive side, I hope people rethink it and view it this way. Um, it's hard to change people when they've believed something all their life. So unless you have like a really hard lessons like right now. So I hope enough people realize, have compassion for others, but also for themselves eventually, that to have national health care. So that's one positive. Another thing is this whole crisis, it's really is devastating it is. If you didn't get sick, I mean, yes, you lost a lot of money. I'm losing a lot of money now, but you really stay home and just wait it out. The following crisis we're gonna have, you can't stay home and watch Netflix and make it better. You actually have to do stuff like climate change. We're going to have heat waves that is going to destroy crops, and we'll have no food. We'll have dry spells that is going to just kill the food. We're going to have too much rain. It's going to destroy crops. And right now, you go to the store, and I got, I mean, like food for like 2 weeks for $114, and we ate like really well at home. But if we have crop failure, you go to the store and like it won't be two cucumbers for $1. It will be $10 for one cucumber, and you will be starving. And trust me, I've experienced that. You have no idea how horrible it is to see bread goes from 30 cents to $1 to $2 to $5 to literally 5,000. Hyperinflation and just horrible things. And at least right now it's sort of easy to fix. I mean, I don't want to minimize because a lot of people are dying and causes real suffering. And if you're the one that gets sick, it's not really watching Netflix and staying home. It's a lot harder than that. But and if you lose your business or your house, which I'm in on the verge of losing everything if things don't bounce back. But still, I hope so people see it as in perspective that this is not as big crisis as global warming is going to be. So hopefully people can wake up and start preparing for the next crisis. We have a fiat currency, which means the money is not backed up by gold, it's backed up by the size of the economy. And the way it works, it's really like if we let's say we have 20 people and we have one bread. If you just print a whole lot of money, all you do and give it to all of us, all you're gonna do is just gonna create inflation because we all this money competing for the same single bread. But if you print some money and give it to one person, hey, make 10 breads, another person go grow apples, another person build a car, we can actually increase the food on the table and the size of the economy. So it can be not only no inflation, but actually you can grow the economy in the standard of living for people. Assuming doing it right, you can't just do it too fast or too slow. And that's not my expertise as an economist to figure out how to do it. So with the fiat currency, like right now, we just $2 trillion from the sky. We just printed it, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to crash the economy completely, like with hyperinflation. And most of this money is really going for corporations. Very little goes to people. So if we did print the $2 trillion and we put it into 0% loans. So let's say you're a Target and you want to put solar on your roof. You get a loan, 0%, or let's say half percent because somebody has to service this loan and they cost money, like the Chase Bank or somebody. So let's say do preferential loans, like 1%. And Chase gets the money from the federal government for free, and then they have a green bank. And let's say the landlord for my building decides to put solar on their roof, they take this 0% loan, put solar. Government will make tons of money from the jobs, because somebody has to do the job, from sales, from increased economic activities. And if people just pay the same electric bill as they're paying back the loan, within 7 years you get your money back, and you actually increase the size of the economy because now you have more energy being created from people's roofs, which now is just wasted into heat. Same thing from grocery stores. They should have all their roofs covered with solar panels, all their parking lots, and we should have like if we had $1 trillion federal bank, we could do that, and we'll create tons of jobs. It would create real value for all of us. Like if you energy comes from solar, you're not gonna breathe the pollution from coal and from other stuff. So you benefit. You have a cleaner air. We'll have less people with asthma. We have less cancers. And we'll be more energy independent. We have the technology now with batteries to store the energy access from during the day, so for night. We can convert some of the excess energy for long term, like into hydrogen, and then convert it back. I mean, that's like 30% loss of energy, but still, if you have too much free energy, you can do that. We can pump water from two dams, from the lower dam up when you have too much energy, and then when you need it back, pour the water down and get energy back. We have programs, the same idea. You push a train up the hill with excess energy of solar, and at night you can let the train go down and use the regeneration and get energy back. So I mean, we have the solutions. So if we would have put this $1 trillion, it would have enormous benefit to everybody. We will be all energy independent. Our energy will be cheaper. We'll be independent from other countries. Also, if we have businesses to be able to get electric cars, uh, it'll be less pollution. I'd rather buy my energy from my neighbor's solar roof, and the money stays here in my state, in my neighborhood, or down in Iowa from wind power, than all this money from gasoline goes to Saudi Arabia and they fund terrorism and all that. So we clearly can do that. We see if they can print $2 trillion just to save the economy, they can do that. And not only are we going to create economic activity, but we will improve lives for people and we will improve our national security. Um, so I hope people see that, see that we can pressure our government officials and elect the right people like Bernie Sanders. So we can have national health care, so we can have free education. Like I'm not the kind of person that will go to college. So this is really not for me. I like working on my feet. I'm a bartender, not the best, not the worst. And I like my job. I like what I do. But for people who are young and smart and have the desire, they should be able to go to college and get out and not be paying all this debt. They should be buying houses. They should be buying cars. They should be going on vacations. That would, if they go on vacation, that would help me come to my hotel, have drinks at my bar, would help you, would help all of us. And this is easy solution. We have a fiat currency, we can do it. So don't overdo it too quick, but don't do it too slow. And we can avoid a huge disaster because climate change is going to lead to us losing Florida. Now, I love going to vacation to Florida. I would hate to see this be lost. But also, imagine all the money invested there. It's all going to go to waste. All the land, all the refugees from there. Where are they going to go live? I mean, this is going to be a problem. Like, imagine the crisis having all these refugees from New York, from Bangladesh, from all around the world, having food crops failure. Like if we have crops failure just in United States, we can buy it from another country. But if this happens in too many places around the world, it's going to lead to hunger. It's going to lead to enormous misery for people. And we can avoid all this. And we all benefit. Like if my neighbor buys an electric car, I benefit because I will breathe cleaner air. If I have electric car, you breathe cleaner air. And the money stays here in our country. Whether again wind power or solar power or just the money, when you spend the money, not only you spend far less, but the money stays in America. So it makes us energy independent. It's better for the environment. It's better for our health. And I hope people wake up that if we can find $2 trillion now, overnight, why can't we find $2 trillion to fund education, to fund healthcare? Like I get it right now, 30% of our economy it's healthcare related. But certain things we should not be for profit. Jails should not be for profit. So you don't have people lobbying to get more business, so put more people in jail for no reason or for stupid crimes. We should we should have money for, like, to have a good civilized society, we need educated people. And people should be able to get education, whether they're doctors, whether they're engineers. And hopefully we rethink this stupidity that everything it's made in China. And who benefits? Who really benefits? I mean, do you really think Nike's Air Jordans cost $150 or $200 because it's so expensive to make the shoes? No. They make it in China for like $13 per shoe. If they make it in America, it will be maybe $10 extra, $30. Do you think doesn't make such a big difference in Nike's profits? They're gonna be making $10 less per shoe. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but they can afford to do it. The reason they do it there because they're allowed. We should not be allowing this to happen. There should be a tariff. So maybe some certain cheap goods, okay, it's fine to make here there, but certain stuff we should be making shoes here in America. Like we probably don't even have enough people to know how to make shoes now. We've lost this ability. We should be having people making TVs here. We should be having people making computers, iPhones. This is jobs for fellow Americans. And it's also a matter of national security. We shouldn't be having everything collapse because China is sick and they cannot make our shoes, they cannot make our phones or our medicine. Like this is absurd. We have majority of those IV bags for the world made in Puerto Rico. And one hurricane goes by there, and now the whole world has a shortage. This is a matter of national security. We need to think about this stuff, and it's not just about profit. It's about national security. We should not be. We should have those bags made in Midwest, like the way we split the country in four. In every part of the country, we should have people make face masks, make the IV bags, make the medicine. It's a matter of national security. So we cannot allow handful of billionaires to make extra profit, to endanger us, and to make us so vulnerable that everything is made in China or somewhere else. This is so absurd. Think about this. I was born in Bulgaria, Eastern Europe. I immigrated to the United States. The only thing in my house is made in America. It's my children. Everything is made in China. This computer, and it's not because I chose to buy a computer made in China. There is no computer made in America. Not this Apple. There is the glass right here. That glass made in, made in China. Everything. I mean, it's absurd. It's absurd. My TV. Like we should be having this stuff made here in America. And right now that we have this crisis, we should be having masks for everybody. We don't even have it for the doctors and the nurses. And if they get sick and die, then we're really fucked because nobody's gonna help us. Who's gonna help us if the doctors and nurses get sick? So I really hope this crisis wakes us up that if we can print $2 trillion to save the economy, maybe we could put $2 trillion into infrastructure because 70% of our infrastructure is structurally deficient. If your house is structurally deficient, you will not be allowed to live in that house. But we can't shut down 70% of bridges because we're just gonna paralyze the country. So we need to fix it. We can create jobs in infrastructure, in manufacturing, in green technologies. We need to do all these things, and we could save ourselves and improve our standard of living. That's my thoughts. That's the things that comes to my mind that can come out of it, and I hope people see that and come to the understanding we need to make changes. And if enough of us understand that, maybe we can make a difference. Um, if you have watched this, thank you so much. It's see going on to 20 minutes. That's my thoughts. If you have your own thoughts and ideas, please share and maybe post a link to your ideas. I would like to hear your ideas. I hope so. We recover from this and come out stronger on the other side. Um, if we do not, it's up to us. It's up to us. So get involved. You're it. Vote and vote with your heart and vote for your best interest. because we shouldn't have people go bankrupt, and we shouldn't be having the situations we're having right now. Hopefully, we come out stronger and better. Take care of yourself, guys. Bye.